Welcome to the second one-on-one session with Marek. I'm your dungeon mom, Tori, and I'm going to have Marek introduce himself and whoever plays Marek as well, give you an insight about their character and what has happened so far. Boris, take it away.
Well, hi, I'm Boris. I play Marek Velair, who's an elven sorcerer. He takes classes in Clockwork Soul, Divination, and Psychology, and he's learning to use his psychic abilities too, in the University of Andorra. Marek has a second, more secretive side of his life in an organization called Section. Although recently recruited to Section, his family ties are close to it, and he's dedicated to their mission, preventing and defeating the horrors from the plane of Shadowfell. Can't wait to see what happens in this session, Tori.
I know what's going to happen in the session, but I'm very excited. So I'm going to give you a very quick recap about what happened last session, since it's been a week for us. Last session, Mark got his first encounter in the Night Forest with Section officially as a University of Andorra student. On the 6th of Eliasis, there was an earthquake where Mark got an alert at 3 a.m. about an emergency. He arrived, and there were these large pieces of cement walls and equipment being teleported in to the Night Forest. And you saw your mentor, Mr. Shavaris, kind of orchestrating this whole ordeal. You got some information, or Mark got some information about an earthquake, which you know usually is accompanied by a shadow portal. And since the other higher up agents were absent, Mark was actually able to go out into the Shadowfell along with Mr. Shavaris and Mr. Foxglove in pursuit of what may have caused this earthquake. You found a student, Blaze Zambini, a fire genasi, who has had some sort of attacks, markings, distress on his face and his body, and you managed to bring him back to your portable base and put him into a pod where he was able to get fluids sort of set to like a cryo-freeze setting to keep him and whatever issues health-wise at bay. Going back home or back to your dorm afterwards, you got another alert the next day that something is wrong at the tower. And as you head over there, you run into President Amadora, the president of the university, and Mr. Shavaris, that there is an alarm in the tower, and the second shift of security had found the first shift unconscious. As you head over, you found that the shadow portal was typically it's shielded, and this shield was raised along with the pod where the student Blaze Zambini was in is empty. You found some information and worked with Mr. Foxglove to figure out what happened since the security footage was erased. And you found a droid upstairs in the research lab of with some footage on it about students from the university attacking. One of which Mark recognized as Isla Omari. Mr. Foxglove asked Mark to keep an eye and kind of get close to Isla, since this could be related to something going on and why these portals are being created. Now, it's been a couple days since this happened. This was on Sunday night. Marek had his first day of school. Everything went rather well. And the second day of school, you received a letter under your your door in your dorm room. As you wake up rather early in the morning, you get up and you kind of get your regularly, you start working on like your morning routine. And as you look around, kind of ready to go to the bathroom, whatever it is, you saw a letter underneath. That's kind of just underneath your door.
With a puzzled and sleepy look on his face, Mark rubs his eye, huh? And shuffles over to pick up the letter.
As you see this letter, it's a folded piece of paper, but on the upper right corner, you see a symbol that you recognize, Delta Domini. And this is a residential social organization within the school that is a well-known organization, similar to a fraternity, but is very hard to get into. And Mark, being a section agent, knows that only section agents are actually allowed inside. Opening the letter, you see it's a meet at the North Elevator in the admin building on Tuesday, 9th of Eliasis at 2 a.m. Come alone.
After reading the letter, Marek has a firm look on his face and nods to an empty space in front of his door. Kind of, securing in his head that I have to go here at 2 a.m. He memorizes the date. He looks around just on the letter for anything else.
Revelio. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's all you find, unless you'd like to do some sort of investigation check.
I think investigation check's in order.
All right.
14.
You're looking around the piece of paper, turning it over, trying to see if there's any sort of residue or anything like that. You don't notice anything. Looking carefully at the different words and the lettering on it, seems quite even. No like boldness or, capitalized letters where they're not supposed to be. Everything seems rather ordinary.
Marek folds up the letter and puts it back in the envelope, and, almost as if paranoid, looks around before opening his closet door.
Okay.
So Marek goes to the back corner of his closet to where there's a faux fiddle leaf potted plant. He takes the top off, where all of his section gear is, and then slides the envelope in there, closes the top.
All right.
Figure I shouldn't destroy it just yet. Who knows? And Mark, after closing the closet door, oh yeah, I have to use the bathroom, and Mark shuffles off, yawning.
All right. Yesterday, your first day of class was Collegiate Common 1B, where you got to come into contact with Isla Omari for the first time. So I just wanted to mention that. Today, you have your Clockwork Soul class at 9 o'clock. The rest of your afternoon is pretty empty. So far, the first week is pretty standard information, mostly introductory material, syllabus for each class, and the promise of hard work to come. Everything goes rather easy for you. And come midnight, you are still awake. It's getting close to 2 a.m. What would you like to do?
Mark is probably going to put his gear on and continue, yeah, laying in bed, just ready for the moment that he has to part. Um, let's see. Mark would like to water his fiddle leaves.
Okay.
um, let's see. Mark would look over all of his syllabus papers and whatnot and try to get the path marked so he can go to the northern elevator in the attic. Just zip straight there.
Okay. You figure out a good way to cut across. You have to go by the Discovery Dining Hall. But the admin building is kind of a little bit over the ways through one of the like main courtyards. But you cut across and kind of sneak into the admin building on one side, trying to avoid most of the students. Do you want to give... Actually, it's 2 a.m. I lied. As you make your way over, there aren't that many students. If you're trying to be stealthy, go ahead and give me a stealth check, as well as a perception check for anything you would like to notice at this time.
All right. Mark's definitely so this ain't bad. And as for trying to be perceptive, movements, any lights, perhaps any trained signaling received from section, he might recognize. Otherwise, he will try to stick to the shadows, but also try to cut across at the fastest time.
Right. I do think that there is kind of an announcement about curfew, though. And so you do know that there is curfew, but that's mostly for people who are leaving campus, as well as they're trying to minimize student contact around campus this late at night.
Right.
With a 19, you get through the shadows quite easily across to the admin building. Did you want to give a perception check to anything you may notice?
Of course. Oh.
A 4. All right. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't really see too much. Maybe there are people patrolling around. Maybe they're not. You have no idea. What you're good at tonight, with your gear on and everything, is stealth. You make your way over to the admin building, and you are hiding through the shadows, column to column, as you jump across various buildings. Just kind of making your way over to the closest door. And you see in the door, which is slightly cracked, you see across the way the elevator, the north elevator.
Okay.
And
so
there you see another person dressed in all black, about 3 feet tall.
3 feet. Mark freezes and tries to get a closer, like, look at this person. I guess not closer, but like, try
With your
to use his...
perception check, you can't really tell too much, but I will give
Shoot.
you the height.
Okay. Can Mark try to use a history check for Delta Domini Chi members that are around that height?
There's only one. You don't even need a history check.
Oh, okay.
Everyone is mostly like human or elvish or tiefling. You know that Rain, who's a fairy, is the only one who could be that height. You also know that Rain is a freshman, and that she's very well connected with this group and with Section because of her connections with her family or her family's connections.
I ease my stance a little bit, and slowly move closer, not trying to surprise them.
All right, you go in through the door, being very careful not to let it creak. You shut it behind you, and as you creep over, she does not notice you approach.
Mark observes for a moment, tries to see what Rain's doing.
You can see that she's kind of just standing at the elevator checking her watch that she has on.
What's the time? Mark whispers.
Oh my god. Ugh. You shush.
She just kind of like turns to you and stamps her foot and just gives you like a glare.
How
Mark
dare
does-
you scare me?
Well, you should have seen me coming.
Ugh, whatever.
Well, what time is it?
1:58. We have 2 minutes.
Well, suppose then that's... Mark coolly leans back against the wall, looking around, waiting for any sign.
I just wanted to get here early. I knew that this area wouldn't be watched tonight because of everything, so...
Let's hope it stays quiet.
Yeah, well, I'm just like going through a lot right now, so if you could just be a little bit nice, that would be great. Thanks.
Well, hi. I'm Marek.
Yeah, I remember. Rain, Silver Spring?
She kind of just
Yeah.
extends a hand.
Mark reaches out and meets the hand.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. So, do you know who else is coming?
I think it's just us.
Mark kind of sits in silence, waiting for the time to pass by.
And glancing, as she keeps just glancing at her watch, right when the clock turns, when it turns 2 a.m., the elevator door opens.
Mark shoots his head over towards that direction.
It's
Kind of
empty.
like quickly stands off the wall from his pose. Looks at Rain. Well, we gotta go.
Let's do this.
And she kind of walks into the elevator.
Follows Rain in.
You don't see anyone inside, and as you enter, the door closes. You see very standard elevator. On the left, there are numbers indicating which floors to go to. But instead, you see them light up in a pattern, like a code being entered. And when it comes to a stop, the elevator begins to descend. The lights flicker and shut off. And you feel a whooshing kind of feeling. Your brain kind of goes tingly. And as things settle and the floor stops moving, you look around and you are in the Shadowfell. We are going to go into roll 20.
Wow.
I would like for you to please give me a new perception check now that you are in the Shadowfell.
13.
All right. With the 13, you look around and it looks rather similar to the night that you went into the Shadowfell with Mr. Shivaris and Mr. Foxglove. As you're looking around, the trees, the patterns of the trees, the darkness in the air, that fog, all looks very, very similar. And you see, kind of in the middle, a portal. And this looks rather similar to the portal that you took to get back to the material plane when you were in the Shadowfell.
Marek quickly looks around and makes sure that Rain is still there.
You do not see Rain.
What? Marek immediately thinks back to the time that he was previously in the Shadowfell, how on edge he was. Seeing what could be silhouettes of creatures just outside of his vision.
Yes.
Mark's...
Unfortunately, with the 13, you don't really see any.
Mark's neck hairs stand on end, and he starts kind of thinking of all these spells that he could use in a fight himself.
Okay. Anything
As
you'd like
he's...
to do? Was there any you would like to cast at the moment in preparation, or are you just thinking of which ones you can cast?
Mark just ready a magic missile in case he sees a creature that doesn't look very friendly.
All right.
With his spells, with his spell prepared, he slowly steps forward, closer to the portal.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to make me a new stealth check.
Sick. Yeah, that would be a 6.
Oh, a 6. Okay.
Oof.
I thought you said sick. Yeah, no, okay. All right, so you receive a 6. As you're going around, you're kind of a little bit taken aback. Taking these steps, you notice that your shoes are kind of crunching a little bit too hard onto this like cobblestone like path that you are on.
Mark, who's obsessed with stones being, sticking out, and possibly causing ankle injuries, make him kind of not completely fixate, but try not to step on little depressions and stuff.
All right. And are you making your way to the portal?
Yeah, I would like to stop within like maybe 10 feet.
All right. As you get there, you are actually you feel something touch the back of your hand as you get 10 feet away. And it feels like this dark sort of this arm reach in almost to your soul. It feels like this crippling claw reach out towards your back. And you feel this darkness, pure darkness, grasping onto you. A 15 hits, correct?
15.
It does hit, right?
Yes.
Okay. You take 16 necrotic damage, and we are going to go into initiative. So please go ahead and roll for initiative. We'll see who goes first.
Okay, roll in 16.
Okay.
Could be better, could be worse.
You will be going second.
Oh!
I rolled a 19. I do apologize.
Oh.
All right. It's going to attack again. And you feel this claw, another claw, reach out. You kind of have a chance to turn around and react to what is attacking you. And you see this humanoid-like shape shrouded in a black cloak, no face, completely dark, floating. And it reaches out and kind of touches you again for another 15 to hit. You take an additional 11 necrotic damage.
All right.
And
Mark?
you are up.
Okay. So Marek, with his spell already, ready to emanate from him, shoots his magic missile level 4 right at this shadow creature.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
To manage it, or click the...
There should be a
effect.
button to click, and since it's level 4, there's a certain number that you can roll. So second spell slot, second or higher, you get 1 more dart. Originally, you get 3.
Okay,
So
6.
yeah, it would be 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. All right, so we have a 4. Wow, lots of 4s. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 4s. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. 21 plus 3 is a total of 24 force
math.
damage. Nice, nice.
All right, I'm satisfied. Mark, though in great pain from this sudden attack, is kind of confident in how many missiles just flew out. It's like, maybe that'll do it too.
You see, as you kind of aim these magic missiles, they kind of just rain down from the sky and attack this shadow creature in a bunch of different directions. And you just see this kind of divot into the cloak as it does hit, and it kind of just absorbs the pain. You see that there are kind of holes being created in this shrouded creature that are slowly burning away. And it does look that like this has sustained a lot of damage. I mean, sorry, that it has taken a lot of damage. Anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Can't spend it. Let's see. For action. Oh man. Sorcerer is this.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Sorry, I'm maybe I can use my sorcery points as a bonus.
I think for sorcery points, you have to decide that you want to do it first.
Okay. Okay.
Let me see.
I'll points additional spell slots or sacrifice spell slots.
Oh, that's just a part of your action, I think.
It does say bonus action.
Yeah, because as a bonus action, you can use your sorcery points to regain a spell slot, and that part is done as a bonus action. So the bonus action part is converting the sorcery points to spell slots.
Okay.
And vice versa, you can sacrifice a spell slot to gain a sorcery point if you so choose.
Okay. So, I mean, I would like to convert. Let's see. Level.
All right, well, I'm going
Sorry.
to think of something quickly, just because I can't give you a super long amount of time because we are still in combat.
Okay. Yeah, alright. I'll save it for next.
Okay. The shadow creature is kind of going to shake off the magic missiles that just pelted it, and it's going to kind of float up like about an inch and kind of go into your face. And it is going to attack you with its claws kind of outstretched again. The first one, it kind of comes across trying to go for your head. You duck and avoid it. But the second one comes at your side as you're unprepared for 17 to hit.
Oh.
You take 12 more necrotic damage.
Oof. This is definitely painful for Mark. He's definitely not going to hold back. Let's see. Okay, Mark's going to aim straight for the creature, just like the torso, the center mass, and shoot out a lightning bolt.
All right. I think this is the first time you've really used this too. Or
there was like one at the DJ. That's the one that finished it off.
Technically, that's in the future.
Oh, I suppose you're right. Yeah. Consider it cast.
All right. So I believe that the shadow creature has to make a sort of saving throw, which it fails. It doesn't matter what it is because I got a 2. So go ahead and roll your damage for lightning bolt. Which level are you casting this at?
At 4th level.
Okay.
So it's 90. Oh my god. 28.
28. One moment.
Crackle pop.
Yep. And as you cast this lightning bolt, you just know that you have been just taking so much damage from these claw attacks. And you feel like this darkness inside of you. You can't take it anymore. And you unleash this huge lightning bolt that streaks across the rest of the forest. Because I think it extends quite a ways.
It does.
And you instantly vaporize this shadow creature. and it is gone.
Marek, his eyes kind of flashing everywhere within his sight, just like, oh, has it really gone? And immediately tries to cast aid on himself.
Okay. And can I just ask, what is Mark's current HP before the aid?
Okay, before the aid, he's currently at 11 hits.
Okay.
So, this thing is not hit below 12. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, you cast aid. But we are out of combat for the moment. What would you like to do?
all right. So, after taking care of himself a little bit, I'm sure that Mark can stand another fight, perhaps. Mark, after looking around the horizon, sets his eyes back onto the portal and wants to observe it.
It looks like a portal. You don't have a whole lot of familiarity with shadow portals. This is only your second time being in the Shadowfell.
So, does this portal just kind of look like what it is on Roll20? Like black hole with a blue outline on
The
it?
blue isn't really there, I promise. It just looks black.
Okay. Alright.
You
Mark,
just see kind of like a crack, like a tear in the fabric of reality. Pure black inkness on the inside as it's just kind of hovering in the air. It's about 5 feet long, 1 foot wide, and comes to a point on the top and the bottom. On the sides, there are kind of like these swirly bits that come to points in various areas, and they radiate kind of like around in a circle.
Mark would like to take his eyes off of the portal and kind of explore the area, see what else is out here.
All right. Give me another perception check. Since you are now out of combat.
A 6.
Yeah, a 6. Looking around, encountering a shadow creature in the Shadowfell has kind of mentally worn down on you. You can't really focus too much on what's around. You do see the general area. You see like different cliffs, points, jagged, like these jagged spikes around you, dead trees. But you currently, at the moment, do not see any shadow creatures.
So, Mark, kind of like confused as to what to do next, thinks, what would be a great spell? And Mark asks, protection from evil and self.
Detection of...
Protection from evil and good.
Oh, protection. Okay. I thought you said detection. Alright. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. So basically, you can't be frightened or possessed by them, and they have disadvantage against you.
Okay. Mark's going to now yell at the top of, not at the top of his lungs, but kind of loud, so someone could try to. Rain! Listens.
You hear nothing.
Mark is just patiently waiting, like another minute, waiting to see if anything will emerge. After that, he thinks, well, looks like I'm gonna have to go through this portal. And Marek turns around, looks at the portal, and steps through.
All right, and as you touch the portal, you feel the surroundings kind of fade away. Your brain has that tingling sensation again. And this time, as your vision fades to black, you are back in the elevator. And you feel something on your head, and as you reach up, there is a sort of metal object that is on your head. Almost like a helmet, with various wires kind of being attached across. And next to you is Rain, with the metal thing in her lap, and she's just kind of sitting, waiting in the elevator.
Sitting in the elevator with Marek kind of like is shocked awake almost from being in a completely different world. Rain?
Yeah, it took you long enough.
Long enough? I thought you were lost in there.
No, it was part of the test for our official initiation.
Mark
Honestly, did your family prepare you at all for this?
Mark kind of shoulders off the thought, closing his eyes. I should have known. What?
Well, I guess they didn't. I mean, they're not supposed to anyways, but I was given a heads up that something would happen, at least.
Mark kind of thinks of a quip to come back with, and is kind of self-satisfied with a self-satisfied expression shows up on his face and says, "Well, looks like your family broke the rules."
I'm okay with that.
Marek, unsatisfied with this response, "Well, how are we gonna get out of here?"
Well, they were waiting for us to finish, I'm guessing. So it should be soon.
You hear a ding and the elevator doors open. Before you, you see several figures. You see 4 different people standing in front of you wearing these long black, like very old, like mage's robes. They're like these cloaks with like a black hood over, and you see that each of them are wearing a sort of very ornate gold mask.
Mark's face kind of sobers up and greets the people with the masks. "Hello."
You passed the first test. Congratulations.
"How many more will there be?"
Come with us. Please remove your outer clothing and put on a robe. Each
Mark.
of us have a locker with our name on it. Use the one from your own.
And
Mark
the 4
nod.
figures go through the door. You're in a sort of closet-like room. There are these square wooden lockers with nameplates lining the sides of the walls.
Mark wants to appraise the quality of the storage room. He just kind of is feeling a little snooty, like, how fancy is this? How secure are the locks?
these locks, as you kind of like look around them, they don't appear to have any sort of locking mechanism. It's just a wooden knob.
Hmm.
There is one with your name on it, though.
Kind of surprised by how simple it is. Mark opens up the knob. Or opens the cabinet.
You see a pair of robes that were folded in front of you, as well as a letter. Another letter. This time... Goodness. This time, you see, 1 second. You see, your family crest on the envelope.
Mark looks at it with an inquiring look on his face, wondering what this could be, but sets the letter to the side and puts the robe on.
You see Rain kind of doing the same. She finds the name for her locker, and she kind of like looks over to the other ones and kind of tries to give it a tug. It does not open. And she sets her things inside and puts on the robe as well.
How did the robes...
There is a double door in which the four of them went through. You see that there's one figure still waiting for both of you.
As Mark approaches, kind of inspects the robes, their feel, and how they look.
They're very nice quality. Velvet. The edges and like the cuffs have this satin ribbon woven into it. There's a slight amount of weight that you feel in the bottom of this that has the robe hang perfectly without causing any sort of wrinkles or like it doesn't snare or drag on anything. These robes appear tailored, and you can see and feel that it hits like snug against your body. It doesn't seem too large or too small in any way, shape, or form. It is rather a little bit larger, I guess, in the arms as it goes to the wrist, just a little bit wider. But that the length reaches the perfect length for your wrist, where it's not too long or short. Rain puts up her hood and she looks at you with a nod.
Mark nods back and puts his hood up. Mark then approaches the person that was waiting there.
They just give you a nod and open the door, leading you into a sort of study. You see a room similar to the one in your family's manor, where the furniture is very, very exquisite, really top quality furniture, benches and desks and sofas. Even the pillows have gold on them, but it doesn't necessarily look like just a gold color. You see that the finishings of like the ends of the couches are actually gold. And as you walk forward, I'm going to put this picture. I added a picture of the mask into Discord. I'm now adding a picture of the lounge as well. So as you see, this person is leading you across this new room. Their mask is very similar to the others, with a little bit less of the swirling embellishments. But you are brought into this beautiful library, like study area. And in front of you, you see this large sort of floating globe up ahead. And the middle of the room is kind of cleared. The carpet that's in the picture is not there. Instead, looking at the floor, you see that there are markings. A circle with 3 sort of spots marked. 2 next to each other in the middle, and 1 at the top of the circle, where one person already stands. The other 2 behind them. The person leads you into the room, and you see that there are these candles just lit across. And the 2 spots marked for you in Rain each have a pedestal. Sitting atop it is an amulet, a needle, and a mask.
Marek already kind of looking around in a silent wonder, sees his area that he needs to go to, and kind of quietly observes everyone.
Rain kind of just walks forward and takes one of the spots.
Mark walks over and fills in his spot.
First, we will make our pledge. Then, you will prick your finger and fill the amulet with blood. This is your official contract.
You see Rain kind of like nods in agreement.
Mark kind of stares at the vial, thinking, like, he's just thinking to himself, do I wear it all the time? Do I in? Kind of staring. React.
Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. We will now begin the ritual. In the shadows of secrecy and the halls of nobility, we, the chosen of section, gather to pledge our allegiance and vow our commitment to this chapter of Delta Domini Chi. We stand as sentinels, bound by duty and honor, to safeguard the secrets entrusted to us by those who came before us. For those who betray our trust, who break the sacred bonds of secrecy and loyalty, there shall be no sanctuary. They shall be cast out, and their fates left to the mercy of the shadows. Through this ritual, the bonds of our destinies are intertwined with the fate of our nation. We pledge our loyalty to section and swear to protect and preserve the stability of our realm. Please, repeat after me. I, Eleanor Ashglade,
I, Marek Velair,
I, Rain Silverspring,
Pledge my allegiance to Delta Domini.
pledge my allegiance to Delta Domini.
I promise to protect the secrecy of Section, its members, and its knowledge.
I promise to protect the secrecy of Section, its members, and its knowledge.
May the consequences of betrayal serve as testament to the gravity of our commitment.
May the consequences of betrayal serve as a testament to the gravity of our commitment.
May this oath bind us together in unity and purpose.
May this oath bind us together in unity and purpose.
Thus do we affirm our allegiance, now and forevermore.
Thus do we affirm our allegiance, now and forevermore.
Delta Domini.
Delta Domini.
And as Rain was saying the pledge along with you, the person who is dictating the pledge now motions for you to prick your finger with the needle provided.
Marek feigns confidence by putting his finger out, just real boldly.
You just see Rain just kind of lift the needle and prick her finger. And the figure approaches both of you and holds up the amulet for Rain and lets the blood from her finger drip into the amulet. And then comes over to you and does the same.
Marek winces just a little bit.
They motion for you to kind of put on the amulet.
Marek, holding the amulet with both his hands, just a moment before putting it on, stares at it, and then dons it.
And as it kind of closes around, you see that it tightens a little bit so that there is like a finger space in between the necklace and your neck.
Marek starts feeling the beginnings of panic, but then quickly settles down.
Welcome, brother and sister, to our chapter. You have earned your mask, and may now wear it in future rituals. Now we can begin our meeting.
And you see that the four individuals standing around you remove their masks.
Marek would
And you see some faces that you recognize.
secret.
I thought I sent it to you. Maybe I put it into the Marek folder. The Marek channel. I did. Alright. You see, if you scroll up a little bit, the three figures on the right of this picture, although they're still wearing the black robes, hood now down, you can see the faces of these people. The person who was guiding the ceremony is the figure on the right. A bit taller, Eleanor Ashglade, of which you recognize from various different things, just from the name mostly. that her family owns a spell phone company. You notice that the other two figures, Jamie and Josie, are pink tieflings. You know that they are twins. One has these very beautiful gold embellishments on her horns, and she is kind of smirking, but she kind of has that like smiley smirk, excited to see what may come. And the male tiefling, Jamie, has just kind of like a calm facial expression. The fourth figure, you may have seen in one of your classes. This person, I don't think that you've officially met. He has, let me see. He has brown hair. Very like neutral, sort of like pale like skin. His cheeks are red. He looks a little bit nervous. But he has a kind of like a medium build, medium height. And that's, I guess, what you notice right off the bat. You see that Rain, once finished, she kind of like runs over and she gives the pink tiefling, the female tiefling, a hug.
Yay, Josie! Now we get to hang out all the time.
Little Rain, you never change. She kind of gives like a sassy remark.
Marek kind of looks around the room trying to make an entrance. Well, I'd introduce myself, but I think you all know me.
Apologies. Our two new members are Rain Silverspring and Mark Velair. I myself am Eleanor Ashglade. I am the leader of the Delta Domini Chi chapter here at University of Andorra. The others are Jamie and Josie, and we also have they are juniors at the school, and Ian, who is a sophomore.
Mark kind of bows his head respectfully and says, well, it's a pleasure to officially meet you all.
They kind of just like nod. You see Jamie kind of comes up to you and gives you like a little fist bump.
Kind of gives a short laugh to himself. Well, this is all so casual all of a sudden.
Don't mind them. They're mostly show. We're nice, I promise.
Marek, trying to fit in, kind of gives like a half laugh. And asks kind of openly, so, what do we do next?
Next, we go to our meeting. Come with me.
And you see Eleanor kind of take the lead, and she swishes off into a side room. You see that there's another door, and one by one, they kind of all follow.
Mark takes what feels like his rightful spot in line.
This is a meeting room, and you do know that you are located underground. But you see that this room has windows. And similar to the room previous, there is kind of like this globe that is floating up ahead. And surrounding the room are different statues of people that you recognize are important in Andorra history. Around the table are several different chairs, and there is sort of screen in the center of the table. Eleanor takes kind of like that first chair, and people just kind of like sit down in the order that they enter the room.
Steadily make his seat at the end.
Alright, we have an update from Mr. Chavaris, so if you can all promptly quickly sit, he has some information for us, if you're ready.
There's some just
Mark.
kind of like nods in agreement from the others.
Mark, upon hearing Chavaris' name, kind of remembers when he last saw him, just on the 7th of Elias.
You see Eleanor tap the screen, and she brings up a hologram. And you see Mr. Chavaris kind of a pixelated version as he looks around, scanning the room.
Good evening. Can everyone please state their first and last name for the record?
Eleanor Ashglade.
Josie Sarevi.
Jamie Saretti.
Ian Thomas.
Rain Silver Spring.
Marek Velair.
Good. You will pass the voice recognition. Now, for our update. To catch everyone up to speed, Section detected a reading on the 3rd of Eliosis at 11 p.m. of some sort of presence, but there was no earthquake. On the 6th, there was an earthquake at 3 a.m. in a spot close to the first detection. We speculate that there is an attempt previously, which failed. However, we are opening these portals. It seems as if they need a person to do so. On the 6th, we found a student, Blaze Zambini, close to the first detection site. He was brought in and monitored for life rot until the 7th, when university students breached the tower and kidnapped him. Our records show they accessed the Shadowfell portal as well. His current condition is being monitored by Rain Silverspring, who's taken point on this recon mission. Rain, do you have an update?
Yes. These students don't seem like much of a threat, sir. They think that they are focusing on the well-being of Blaze and seem to think that the government was conducting tests on him. He is okay, although the condition of life rot is progressing. They don't seem to know too much about it. If we escalate the situation with FBI presence, it may force them to release him.
Good suggestion. With the recent news video from his mother, I was hoping it would prompt them to do something. But time is short, and we need to get his body back into the pod as soon as possible. We will have more on-call shifts during this time for our level 3 operatives. Eleanor, Jamie, Josie. There will be some late nights. Ian, I have a separate mission for you. I will send you instructions tomorrow. New business. I need you to join different clubs and infiltrate various cliques and friend groups. We need eyes and ears everywhere if we want to find out who did this in the first place. You've been selected for various clubs based on your skills. This will cover a wide variety of areas and should cover our bases in terms of campus population. You will all wear these bracelets, which have detections built in to test for Shadowfell essence. It will feel warm as you draw near to a person who's made contact.
You see Eleanor kind of pass out these bracelets, pass one, take one down. And it's a sort of silver beaded bracelet with a medallion kind of attached, and it has the symbol of the sun on it.
Eleanor, as Vice President of Student Government, you will be focusing on student government primarily. Your secondary clubs to join are Creative Writing Collective and Knitting Circle. Jamie, as Queer Student Association President, this will continue to be your main point. However, I want you to also join International Review and the Andorra Key Society. Josie, since you are not in any clubs at the moment, I would like you to join the debate team in mock trial, as arguing is one of your main skills.
You see her give kind of like a little smirk as he says this.
Mark.
Yes, go ahead.
Mark, shows that smirk.
Ian, although you are rather quiet, I need you to step up and join the Emerging Technology Club, as this will be a valuable resource if anyone is accessing or using technology, as well as the Evermore Beekeepers. This club has access to certain parts of campus that will be good to keep an eye out. Rain. These clubs will be very much in your skill set. Illusion Dance Company, UOA Choir, and Potions Club. And last but not least, Marek. Now that we know of your psychic ability, we would like for you to join the Psychics Club, as well as Dragon Chess Club and Andorra Key Society. Any questions?
None, Detective.
The rest of the room is silent.
That is all the update that I have. Meeting adjourned.
And you see the image of him fade. And now we can breathe. We're all done. Josie kind of relaxes a little bit and stands up and kind of stretches.
Mark, after sitting quietly, shoots his arms up in the air. I got chess club!
Yeah, I think we were all hoping that we wouldn't get that one.
Well, more for me.
Dragon Chess Club is important. You can tell a lot by how someone plays the game. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank
Eleanor
you.
kind of turns to you.
It's good practice to develop strategy, if you ask. But not only that, also reading your opponent.
You make a valuable point. I hope it's helpful. Please let us know if there's any updates. Specifically, to me first, and I shall alert Mr. Chavaris. Now that you have officially joined this chapter, that is the point of command.
Understood. Though Marek isn't happy with it.
Rain and Mark, as you are our new members, you are in charge of keeping this chapter nice and tidy. Please come down once a week to clean and ensure that the space is ready to go for any sort of rituals or meetings that we will be having.
Yes, Eleanor.
I actually have a question about that. Is this space allowed for recreational or study use?
Absolutely. One of the best places to study. And
Thank
I
goodness.
do know that it is hard to come by a quiet place to study. Typically, some of the books accessed in the Tempest Library are the only ones there. However, this space does have a different selection of research material, primarily for our section research, but still has good computer access.
Mark has a slight smile on his face. Go ahead.
Can we come down here to, like, hang out? You know? Sometimes it's really hard to just get alone time. The dorms are always so loud.
That's acceptable, as long as you don't tell anyone of this place, or bring anyone down here.
Well, how do we get here on our own?
The code is by the door. Memorize it before you leave.
Okay.
If you do not, you can ask one of us and we will assist you in letting you down. However, this will result in a favor. For however many favors we end up needing, the task you will perform will get increasingly more difficult. So keep that in mind. You are not allowed to write down this code anywhere, so you must memorize it. It is part of keeping the secrecy of the space.
Emphasizes how important this code is, and
So I heard that the three of you were drunk the other night, and that's why Mr. Chavaris is mad at you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Ian kind of just like steps up and pushes this onto Jamie, Josie, and Eleanor.
Mark kind of gives a cringed expression of, ooh, I wouldn't want to be in that seat. Goodness, I got up.
Alright, it was a Saturday night, okay?
Marek, you remember that when you responded to the 3 a.m. text messages of emergency, that Mr. Chavaris said that 3 of the agents that were supposed to be there were sick.
Mark kind of like makes that connection in his head without saying anything.
Anyways, Mark, I hear you're going to be going on some of the more physical missions. Good luck. I can't go with you or help you, but any information you need I can get you. I'm rather good with computers.
Okay, thank you.
Rain is not necessarily supposed to be physical missions as well, so that's why you were selected for this. Rain's strong suit is gaining information and recon. Although she likes to think she's rather feisty.
Hey, you shut up, okay? I am feisty. Passed a dumb test, didn't I?
Oh, trust me, I already know.
Told you. Anyways, I think we have class together, so if you want to study at some point or whatever, let me know.
Okay, that sounds good. How about here?
Sure. It would be good to keep some sort of out of section contact so that if people see us together for any weird reason, at least we have an excuse. But also, I do need someone to study with. If you want to hang out, you know. No pressure.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, what do you all do? I mean, I've already heard some of you.
Well, as the lead, I usually divvy out tasks. Depending on the severity of the situation, Mr. Chavaris will show up in person, or by holograph. Me, Josie, and Jamie, the three of us, are all put on physical missions. We each have strengths as well, on top of this. And you will all each specialize in something. Ian is specializing in the computer side of things, hacking and gaining intelligence through the dark web, among one of them. Rain, with her social connections, can get us into many different areas and gain information, not just in the university, but around town. Speaking of which, there is a sort of situation at the Sliver nightclub. Rain, I need you on. I'll give you updated later.
Ooh, nightclub. Party! Just kidding. No, I know. I can do that. I think my dad's friends with, like, the owner or something, so that makes sense.
So, Marek, what do you think? Josie kind of approaches you.
Well, I mean, I'd say I'm overwhelmed. I've had my training section, so I'm kind of used to seeing new locations. But still, this looks amazing.
It's nice to have a home base. You'll like it.
Yeah, it looks cozy yet official all at the same time.
And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Yay!
Yay!
Cut!
No, I'm glad you had fun though.
Yeah, that was a blast.
So I hope that gives you a little bit more insight into section, as well as the situation and some of the other NPCs. Especially since some people in the party already have connections with them, Ian and Rain being the main ones. So I think this will help a little bit in your case.
Yeah, I mean, I already remember hearing them mentioned earlier, and even with Rain at the Sliver. You know, I'm just thinking, oh my god, she was on mission that whole time.
Yeah, so I wanted to clue you in on some things that you may not have known about, but I feel like your character would. So it's kind of nice to backtrack a little bit. So
Yeah, it's great seeing both sides.
yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for participating, and until next time.